Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Sylvan's Way. Have you ever wanted to see all 8 seasons of the Witch Oracles together? Not just each one individually, but see all of them side by side to really compare how they've evolved, how they function as a complete wheel of the year, things like that. So that's exactly what we're going to cover today. So this is our first one in our Saturdays along the forest path explorations, where I'm really trying to slow down and take a more holistic look at the tools we work with every day. So let's get started. As you all know, the Seasons of the Witch Oracle series is a collection of 8 oracles. Each one is aligned with one of the pagan Sabbath's wheel of the year. So each deck focuses on the energy, themes, and practices for that specific season. This is from Samhain and Yule in the darker half of the year through the growing light of Imbolc and Ostara, into the warmth and abundance of Beltane and Litha, and then into our harvesting in Lammas and Mabon. So each one of these can be used individually, or you can use them all together to support a seasonal cyclical practice, one that invites you to work with the wheel of the year over time rather than pulling cards in isolation. So in this Saturday, we're going to look at these decks so that you can see it. And then next Saturday, we're actually going to go over how you can use these decks individually or as a complete grouping. So stay tuned for next Saturday as well, because I'll be doing my second part of this series. So let me add a chart that I actually put together. This chart reviews the series as a whole, because for me and my analytical mind, I needed to look at how it all fits together. So when you're looking at this chart, the first thing you'll probably notice is that the publication order doesn't match the order of the Sabbats on the Wheel of the Year. So the series begins in Samhain, which is for me the first Sabbat on the wheel. So that is actually good. But after that, the releases move around quite a bit. So, for example, Beltane, which is the 5th Sabbath, was published early in the series. And then Ostara, which is the 4th Sabbath, comes much later. So I feel like seeing the decks laid out this way makes it clear that this wasn't released as a fully mapped system from the beginning, but it's something that developed over time. Another thing that stands out here is where the illustrator changes in the series. So the earlier decks, Samhain, Yule, and Beltane, are illustrated by, I think it's Gallia Rose, while the other decks are illustrated by, I'm so sorry, I can never pronounce these names. I need somebody to come up with the phonics for everybody's name. But it's Lukovic, Tawana Lukovic, that started doing the later decks. So Gilia Rose's artwork feels to me like it's more iconic and devotional, with centered still figures and rich grounded color palettes that evoke ritual and symbolism, while Lukovic's artwork feels more organic and cyclical. Her figures are illustrated in their environments with softer palettes and a stronger sense of movement and seasonal flow. But together, they offer 2 distinct visual languages for moving through the Wheel of the Year. So in a way, it kind of works, even though there was kind of a shift. They do work together, definitely work together. The last couple of columns show you the, and just as an FYI, is the same writers for all of the decks. It's Lorraine Anderson and Juliet Diaz is the writer for all the decks. So even though the illustrator changed halfway through, the writers have stayed consistently the same through the entire series. Okay. So when looking at the guidebooks, because that was another thing that I noticed, that the guidebooks across the series, you could definitely see shifts in time. So in the earliest deck, in Samhain, we see upright and reversed meetings. So the cards are grouped and defined in sections, and there's spell work woven throughout. And then after Samhain, there's no more reverse meetings. However, there is spell work, reference material, things like that, woven throughout all of the guidebooks. So that is consistent. But as far as reversals, you only see that in the very first one, the Samhain. By Yule, the reversals are removed, like I said, and the guidebook, it really starts feeling more reflective and accessible. Then, beginning with Mabon and Imbolc, the guides expanded further, introducing themes and areas of focus, which I really, really liked. These are really helpful to understand what the content of or what that Sabbath is really about. So it's got clearer seasonal framing. I feel like when that was brought in. And then the later decks really continue to refine this approach. Sometimes there's detailed altar selections, there's an increasing amount of ritual material, and it really emphasizes embodied seasonal practice over card mechanics, which I really, really like. I do also like that halfway through the series, there started to be little Easter eggs, so to speak, that start showing up in the different cards. So you'll see a theme of sunflowers through all the cards, or a theme of Easter eggs all the way through all of the cards, or the candles. So as the series developed and changed over time, it just got better and better and better. And the guidebooks got better. And for me, even the writings on the bottom, there's like a poem on the bottom of all the cards. That poem got better over time. So I really like seeing this mapped out all through. I like seeing this complete picture of all of the cards, or all of the decks, not the cards, but all of the decks laid out. So I wanted to share it with you because I put this chart together to get it straight in my brain so that I can share it better with you. So I hope that this was helpful, seeing this chart. Let me know in the comments below if it was. Now that we've looked at the series as a whole on paper, so to speak, let's bring the decks together and look at them physically side by side so you can actually see them. So across the entire series, the packaging is consistent. Each deck comes with the same two-part box, which is really helpful. They're all exactly the same size. Everything is the same. So it really gives you that feeling that these are meant to live together as a set. Inside the boxes, all of the guidebooks are consistent in size and format. Even as additional material was added over time, it's still, all of the guidebooks look and function the same. And then when we look at the actual cards themselves, it's got the same cardstock, it's got the same size. All of the, oh, you can see where I was using this. All of them have different seasonal gilding, so there's color distinction. Color distinction on them, so you'll see different gilding with different edges. They were really well chosen to reflect the energy of that Sabbath, rather than sticking to like a single series color. And then also the color schemes, of course, shift with each season. So in the colors, we have darker color schemes for the darker half of the year, and then the colors do change and reflect the season in each one of them. So taken together, these decks really do feel unified, so to speak. While they do stand allowing each season to keep its own visual identity, these decks definitely do work together. And you can tell that they're supposed to be of the same grouping. So that's kind of looking at them as a whole. Next, I'm going to do a flip through of each of the seasons of the Witch Oracles so you can see all of the cards, because I think that's important. I don't think I've seen any videos out there that show all of the cards. So before each flip through, I'll give a brief note on the energy and the color palette of the season, and then I'll let the cards unfold with some music in the background. So let's look at that next. Oh, and just to let you know, none of these decks are in order because I use them all the time. So this is probably my most used Oracle decks I have in my entire collection. So none of them in order, and I wasn't going to put all 10 decks in order for this video. So, but you still get to see all of the cards. So first, this is Samhain. So this is a season of endings, of thresholds, of ancestral presence with deep shadowed tones and strong ritual symbolism. So the backs are these beautiful red, and the gilding is red gilding. This is Yule, a season of stillness and quiet return with cool winter tones, soft light, and a reflective inward energy. The backs of them are green and the gilding is green. This is Imbolc, a season of awakening and returning light, marked by gentle warmth, softness, and subtle illumination. There, I just want to let you know that on these cards, I also did a deck mod where I swiped them with a thick marker and then wrote keywords on the bottom of the cards. They're backed in this beautiful blue with this gorgeous blue edging. This is Ostara, a season of emergence and renewal with fresh color, growth, and a sense of playful possibility. The backs are these beautiful peach color. We have this, what do they call this? Gilding. See how it's like a rainbow type gilding? And then these are the cards. This is Beltane, a season of vitality and expansion, alive with movement, sensuality, and natural abundance. The backs come in this beautiful yellowish gold color, and the edges are gold. This is Litha, a season of fullness and radiance with bright, expressive, and it's outward facing in both energy and color. The backs are this beautiful purple with purple edging. This is Lammas, a season of harvest and gratitude, warm and golden, grounded in abundance and shared effort. The backs are this beautiful green with this green gilding. I love this color. And this is Mabon, a season of balance and inward turning, earthly, reflective, and gently subdued as the light begins to wane. The backs are this really pretty orange, and the gilding is this orange color. I forgot to mention that each one of these decks comes with 44 cards. So, sorry, I didn't mention that. I forgot to add that in. So, you get 44 cards in each one of them. Now, I hope you enjoyed seeing all of those cards together, one after another, because it really shows you how intentional this series is. It's really more than just the individual deck. It is about a living wheel that unfolds over time. I really feel like you could really touch on something sacred and something special by using the wheel, these seasons of the witch for following the wheel of the year. So whether you work with one season or walk through the full circle, like each deck really offers a different way of engaging with the year and the land and your own practice. So I'm wondering if you've worked with any of these decks, which deck are you drawn to, or which season do you find yourself returning to again and again? I will let you know right now that out of all of these decks, the ones that I dislike the most, believe it or not, are the first ones that were created. I don't resonate with them as much, but I really resonate with the last one, which is Imbolc and Ostara and Mabon. So those are the ones that when I've opened up the deck and I've used it, I've really connected with it and it really gave me powerful readings. And I've been using this series or portions of this series as it was released over the last 2 years until the final version, the Ostara, came out in 2025. And I did use that in 2025 for my daily draw. So if you enjoyed this review of these decks and this collection and looking at this series as a whole, please hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment below, share this video. It really helps with the algorithm. I know that, people are probably sick of hearing all those things, but it really does help. Until next time, thank you for walking the forest path with me today, and may your path be clear, your cycles be honored, and your practice feel deeply your own. Thanks. I appreciate you. Bye.